Hey everyone, welcome back. This is episode 2 of season 13 of Heartland, titled Wild One. The description says Amy is hired to gentle one of the wild horses, but this one may prove to be too wild, even for her. She's hired to gentle one of the wild horses. I'm guessing one of the horses that they moved from Pike River. Maybe that black one? That black stallion? And I'm kind of wondering why she would be hired to gentle a wild horse, because they're wild. But maybe, I'm sure that there's probably some sort of reason. Yeah. I don't think we've seen the last of Kirk, especially since when the episode ended, we heard that Sarge was on the mend, but he obviously was going around telling lies to people. And, Ty had commented that Caleb had called him. So hopefully Caleb was kind of setting the record straight, and being like, dude, you're a fucking liar. Like, I know them, I'm their, I'm Ty's best friend. So hopefully. It was nice to hear Caleb mentioned, even if we didn't see him in the episode. Let's get started. Yeah, you're starting riding with the wild horses. They probably still, inoculate them and everything. Music. Hey, buddy. Yeah, they're putting them all on. Probably inoculating and everything, giving them their meds. Yeah, see what Ty's wearing.
So have you two read Kirk's latest post?
Nope. Here we go, Kirk.
I don't plan on it.
It will. I'd be like, they got through it, right? The horses survived, right?
Georgie and I made cookies.
That was timing, though. I mean, I had to call right then. Couldn't have called earlier. No, they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to stay.
Luke, maybe you could write your mom a letter. Maybe it might make you feel better, and I'm sure she would love hearing from you.
That's where I'll be.
Interesting. I saw something that said legal affairs on this. Might not be a bad
Hey,
thing.
Kim. Phoenix is recovering from vesicular stomatitis, so I really don't want to push him. Anyway, just call me back. Thanks. Hey, Dad.
Right. Your mother and I just want to make sure you're aware.
Maybe she doesn't want to go to college.
I don't have a choice, do I?
Tomorrow you will.
Because as we remember in season 12, she basically said something to Wyatt about, I don't want to break up, blah, blah, blah. And she was kind of leaving it in his court. And from what I remember, he didn't really make a decision. And I see we're going to see Adam in this episode too. So maybe Adam is looking at going there as well. But I've noticed in some shows lately that some of the younger people have not been going to college, which is actually a smart decision. As I've gotten older, I've realized that unless you are going for a specific trade, college is basically pointless. And this is coming from someone who has 3 degrees. Unless you're specific for like a doctor or a plumber or a veterinarian or something. It's not worth it. You get into all this debt and you can learn really about anything. I mean, I'm not opposed to taking classes. You could take 1 or 2 classes online, get a certificate in something, but college just really isn't worth it. And again, this is coming from someone who the older I get, I realize that. And like another show I react to is Walker. And the character of Stella got to the point where she graduated high school and could have gone to college. And she decided to take a year off. And to be honest, I don't think she's going to go. She may. And then you have, of course, Amy, who didn't go to college. Lou obviously did because she has a master's degree. But Amy didn't go to college. Obviously, Ty did because he went to vet school. So you don't have to always show the kids going off to college. Now, I don't know with Georgie. I do know with Alicia Newton that from what I've heard, she wasn't in season 15 or 16 as far as I know. And so it could very well be that they did write her as going to college, which would basically explain why she was gone. And at the time of recording, I know she also did a show called Devil in Ohio. The actress did. So, yeah, it could very well be that maybe they were starting to get to the point where she was looking to move on or do something else. And so they decided they were going to write Georgie as going off to college. So maybe she is. But I have noticed in the last few years with some shows that they're not pushing students or people to go to college as much. Young people, at least. Now, for some young people, they shouldn't, And to be honest, if I could, and again, this is me looking back, but if I could, I either wouldn't have gone or I might have gone later. Because, in my thoughts growing up, and of course this was the 90s, you graduated high school, you went to college. The next step. I don't regret going because some of my favorite times were in college, being able to hang out with friends, go to events, don't miss the homework, but I loved the school I went to. So, but looking back, I'm thinking maybe I should have done what some of these other people did. Maybe I should have taken like a year off or 2 years off and worked or traveled and done something and then decided. Because some people, of course, especially now, people go to college later. Some do go into the working field, and 10, 20 years later, they go get degrees, especially now that we have a lot more with online. So I think they don't necessarily have to show on TV young people going off to college. It would be nice to see, and I'm sure it probably happens in any shows, and if it does, let me know down in the comments. But there are probably some adults on these shows who you see like going to college and getting their degrees. And again, let me know in the comments if you know of any TV shows where you have adult students. Either they're going on campus or they're going online. But again, it's not really necessary nowadays. A degree is basically useless unless you have a certain trade. I mean, yeah, I'm happy that I have my 3, but the bottom line is they really don't affect my life. Especially if I am somehow looking for a job, which luckily I'm not. But if somehow I am looking for a job, they can sometimes hinder more than help. So, anyways, I've rambled enough.
I'm just here for moral support because Wyatt hasn't applied anyway. Who's Georgie? This is great. The 3 of us can tour campus. I mean, the 5 of us.
No, you were right the first time. We don't need parental escorts to tour campus, right? Right, Mom?
Before they fill up. This is so great. The 3 amigos back together again. Just like old times.
Yeah.
Just talk.
Just like old times.
Hopefully they'll talk.
Hey,
I don't know, I liked her with Adam.
so
I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't seen Dylan.
Well, I took pictures and mentioned Tim, too. I don't know why I'm the only one in the ad.
Because you're
it's wonderful.
Heartland.
That's why. Do you know how handsome you are?
Hey,
Hey,
hi, Tim. I'm,
I like though how Lisa's like, oh, it's great. Do you know how handsome you are? Spoken like a good wife.
oh, Babs, I had breakfast. Is it this is yesterday's paper? There is no today's paper.
eventually.
Garland sent a photographer to take pictures of the three of us. I don't know. That's just you. I know. Why are you the only face in that ad?
Because he's the face of Heartland.
Because it's a really great picture.
I mean, it is a great picture. But he's the face of Heartland. That's why. You know what? Amber Marshall is Amy Fleming. She has her own farm. I see that she has like a country store. I wonder if they ship internationally. I should check her website. But she like so much of Amy is like actually her. You got him. You got him. There you go. Hey. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, buddy. You're safe. Well, if you moved on, then why are you being all awkward now?
Room for full until this afternoon. Well, I say we just take this off right.
Oh my God. I'm glad to see him again.
Yeah. Never gonna guess who that was. That was somebody from the radio station who'd like to interview you.
Playing a game of chess here.
Educate people on ranching in this province, not to mention free advertising.
And of course, Tim's jealous because
So would you consider it at least?
He was agent now.
I'm gaining his trust, not breaking him down.
Okay, fine.
she's not in the army.
I'm pretty sure that Kaz just wants to be left alone.
He's a wild horse, of course. That's
Kaz isn't like the other black horses. There's something about him, something that I can't quite put my finger on.
a number we discussed. Double it. For your trouble.
Well, that's nice that he would double it. Wyatt and Georgie obviously are lying about moving on because if they had, there wouldn't be that awkwardness and whatnot. You know, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I've moved on. Yeah, okay. You know, hey, let's go check this out." You know, and they'd want to get back to being friends. So obviously, neither of them have moved on. And I do kind of like how Adam is there, even though he's not enrolling, or at least not yet. Although it is kind of funny that he's wearing an MRU hat. I should check and see if Mount Royal University is a real location or if they made that up. But yeah, you know, he's kind of the third wheel. But sometimes you need that buffer, which is kind of what Adam is. But I like Adam. You know, I think he's sweet. I like how he's the way he is, you know? And I was sad when they broke up. I thought that they should have stayed together. I mean, I like Wyatt, but I like Adam more. And I do remember seeing something in one of the Heartland groups where they talked about Georgie's boyfriends. And of course, so far she's had 2. And you notice we haven't seen anything about Dylan since season 11. Was he just in there to kind of create a bit of conflict for her and Wyatt to break up? Or are we going to see him again? I should check. And see, as I said, that actor was on Good Witch. And if that was 2019, he probably would have been working on Good Witch then, because Good Witch ended in 2021. And you can catch my reactions to season 7, at least, on my channel. I am considering going back and doing a rewatch of 1 through 6 as well, plus the movies. So if you are interested in Good Witch, please keep an eye out for that in case I decide to do it. But, you know, obviously he could work on 2 shows at once, especially if they're both filming in Canada, you know, as long as it's not a conflict of interest, because he could be on Good Witch, film, and then maybe on like a day off or something, he goes to Heartland and film. So I should check and see how many episodes it says he was in, because if he was only in like 6, then I think he's done. And also, we've never gotten a resolution about Jeremy. You know, they said he was on the run after he killed his horse and everything. They say he was on the run. We never heard a thing about him. And as I said, this is a show that I'd like to see some resolutions on, because there are a couple of times where the story hasn't finalized, like with Jeremy. Okay, he's on the run, but did they ever find him? Like even just a reference or something in the paper or something mentioning that Jeremy was retained and brought back to camp. No. I mean, they did a good job finishing up with Adrian. Although with that, I was still kind of surprised about that we never saw anything from Ahmed after Ty basically, pushed him off the property. Because I thought shit for sure we would have seen him at least coming to the wedding to try to end things. But again, he just kind of disappeared too. So, I don't know, it's some of these characters I feel like the stories aren't complete and maybe the writers do forget about him or the actors don't want to return, so they move on. I know the actor who played Jeremy. I saw him in something else. Unfortunately, I cannot think of what it was at the moment. But I know I did see him in something else. So that could have been a reason. Anyways, got about 19 minutes. Let's keep going.
Can we focus here?
Yeah.
Considering neither of you have made a decision about where you're going to school in the fall, I figured we might take this more seriously.
Yeah, actually, agree with all of that.
Come from an robotic arm?
Go with the robotic arm, Adam. You don't have to stay. Just meet him in an hour or so.
Damn, hey, what brings you to Calgary? Well, he scored high with the female members of the focus group, but he doesn't have the broad appeal of Jack.
Right.
Yeah, what about me?
You're too much of an ass.
Right? Yeah. Like, I
Tim's
feel
gonna
I'm
fuck it
part
up.
of the family, wouldn't you say? Absolutely. Well, you don't keep secrets from family.
Let it go, Tim.
So it's
I think it's cool that they chose Jack.
On you and shopping for expensive watches.
Hey guys, did I mention I'm 39?
You didn't have to go, Adam. You could have gone to the robotic arm.
Business.
Well, it's none of your business how many days off I want.
Well, I didn't ask.
Hey guys,
Well, the answer's a lot. Like,
Something's gonna happen. Adam's gonna fall because he's afraid of heights.
Good for you.
Told ya. At least he's connected.
that's it. I can't take this anymore.
well, dude, what's your problem?
You're my problem. You too, Tardy.
Me? What did I do?
You both talk big game about moving on. But none of you are acting like it.
No?
Down!
Yeah. I knew someone was gonna have a problem with the rock wall. He could have gone to the robotic arm. What's his name? Chaz? Kaz? Yeah. I'm surprised he doesn't trip on a rope. Come on, Amy. You can do it. He's gonna come, even if it isn't right away. Uh-oh. So I called that they were going to have Peter and Jen get together, and obviously that's what's going on since he kissed her. And then Wyatt and Georgie have seen. So you never know, they may end up being step siblings. But I like that Wyatt is gonna take that year off and travel. That's what I'm saying. Like, kids spend so much of their adolescence in school. And when they turn 18 and are legally adults, they should be able to make the choice. Like I said, in retrospect, maybe I should have done something different. And I do wish that there were time machines because I might have gone back and seen different scenarios and what I could have done to see if maybe there would have been a different path to take. And maybe I wouldn't have done anything different. But I might have. But with this, I like hearing that Wyatt's going to travel. Now, maybe that's their way of kind of writing him out of the show. And of course, Adam says he's going off to one of those big schools, so maybe that's how they're writing him out. But Georgie, of course, might decide to go to college. She might decide to not. Either way. I knew they were going to do the Jen and Peter thing. I called that from a mile away.
And Lindy wants you when she wakes up from a nap. Seriously, I am chopped liver.
You know it's just a face.
Yeah.
Good boy, Phoenix. He's better.
Hey, Dad, I think this is one of those situations where less information is really more.
Yes. Okay, great.
Probably.
How did the campus tour go?
It was good. Yeah, fun.
Okay. If you don't need her help, then they can kick you out. You're like, fine, you don't need our help, then you don't need to live here. At least he apologized. That's good. Here we go. Now we're gonna see the progress.
Why would Fred send you that? Because I asked him to. You want to know what it says about you? No. I'd be happy to know you got a friendly face. And we're described with words like wise, intelligent, and iconic. So forget the report.
It doesn't matter, Tim. Move on.
You know, I'm not buying that you're not enjoying this look. I'm not enjoying it at all.
Drop dead handsome. He could talk to Scott about picking up hours. Supposedly, he's still working at the clinic. He just cut back on hours, so he could talk to Scott about picking up some hours. And that guy, what did he say his name was? He could still send the business their way, you know? And the thing is, you know, Kirk did that negative review, but it's like, but look at all the positive reviews. You know, like if you're looking to buy something, there might be a negative review, but generally there's positive. And you do kind of have to weigh the good and the bad. But if he's the only negative review, and it's because he's a freaking bully, then you have to basically ignore that. And I'd be interested to see if there were responses to it, because it sounded like there were. And if there were responses, I would have had Caleb or someone respond, even anonymously, and say something like, yeah, weren't you the one who kind of bullied them into doing this and blah, 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 and threatening, you know, and like making up all this and kind of calling him on his shit. Because then if people are reading those comments, they'll see that this guy is just an asshole and just has an axe to grind. And so maybe they'll think, all right, so maybe it's not these guys, maybe it's this guy. But business will pick up. We know it will. You know, they have connections. I'm hoping that this guy will help him out. Because even though it didn't work out, he can still say to people, you know, like, they run a great business. I tried to, you know, and she taught me that you can't always do it. And that's the type of business that you want to have. You want to have someone honest and not just there to take your money. No.
Thanks.
Ty.
You must be a little sad to see it go.
Yeah. Ty.
Yeah, maybe a little.
He didn't have to get rid of his
So what do
motorcycle.
you think of your mom night, Adam?
Do
Do you think you might have room for me?
Seriously? What about all the horse shows and everything?
She
I'm
needs a break.
taking a break. So what do you think? Hey, good. Really good.
Yeah.
He's got tea because he's got the string. But Lindy would be in Katie's room. Oh, I guess she is. Since it looks like they're leaving the room. Of course, I could be looking. Damn. That's gonna get some. You know, Amy was talking earlier about Remy and animals sensing danger and stuff. And that is correct. You know, she said that when she would wake up scared, she'd look at her dog and the dog would be calm and she knew everything was all right. And that's what I do with these guys when we have severe weather. Like if there's a threat of a tornado, if we're under a tornado warning or something, my husband has a tendency when there's a tornado warning to like want to grab everyone and run down to the basement. And me, I take my cues off of them. Because if something is coming, they're going to know, you know, their whiskers will sense it and everything. They are going to know about severe weather if we need to run. There was one time I was not home. This was at my old place. He was hanging out with Alice and there was a storm coming and he saw Alice just kind of like kitty commando crawl down to the basement. And he was like, oh shit, you know, so then he went down wherever, and I don't know where I was, but that is the cue to take because they're going to know before we will. So, you know, they might say, oh, there's severe weather and wanting to like run down the basement. And me, I'm going to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to hang out and wait. If I see these guys take off, then I'll run down. But if these guys don't take off, there's nothing to worry about, and we're just wasting our time. So she's right. Animals can sense. They sense evil and danger before humans do. We're not very intelligent, especially when it comes to shit like that. We're not intelligent, and they are. And I like the end of that episode, Amy and Ty were getting a night alone. Like I said, you know Ty's going to get some. And I'm guessing probably the next episode is going to probably, I don't know. Like I said, I know the thing with Kirk. I know we're going to see him again. Business is going to pick up. Hopefully this guy who was helping, you know, with the wild horses, hopefully he will start sending some business towards them. And it was nice getting to see Peter. I'm glad that he was the one that took Georgie to the college, especially because, you know, Lou has been involved with so much of that it was nice to see Peter doing something, getting involved. In the next episode, it says Jack is dealing with painful memories. So I'm wondering if that's going to be memories of Lindy. It could be that person, June, that Luke was asking about, since we didn't get much. We found out she died at 17, so it could be that. I'm guessing a sister. Thank you for joining me for this reaction. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed Alice sleeping here. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Hit the like button and subscribe for more content, and hit that notification bell if watching this on YouTube so that you can be alerted of future reactions to Heartland. You know, I feel like I'm in the home stretch because once I finish this season, I've got 3 to go before I'm officially caught up. Obviously, by the time this posts, there could be a 17, 18, 19, 20 season, depending, or it could end with 16. But at the time of recording, I have a feeling we will get a season 17. But I hope you enjoyed this reaction. I hope you all are having a great day and a great week. You know, feel free to comment about anything down below. Love to be able to talk to some people. And I'll see you for episode 3 next time. Bye.